We all depend on natural resources, like land, energy and water. They are essential for social and economic development, but our growing use of such resources is unsustainable. ODI's Development Progress Project has taken a closer look at 4 countries to explore how they are managing the challenge of reducing poverty while developing sustainably. In Vietnam, access to electricity increased from 14% to 97% of the population in just 20 years, bringing energy to 35 million people. Supply of renewable electricity has increased 5-fold, but the use of fossil fuels is also growing. Vietnam shows how a country can rapidly increase access to electricity, especially in rural areas, but also the risks electricity generation poses for long-term sustainability. Meanwhile, Brazil has more than doubled its energy supply in 2 decades, bringing electricity to 55 million more people. 90% of rural households and 99% of urban households are now connected. In 2010, 45% of its energy came from renewable sources, such as hydropower and ethanol. These lower Brazil's greenhouse gas emissions, but also have consequences for biodiversity and indigenous communities. Brazil's challenge is to match progress in energy production with gains in energy efficiency, while limiting any negative impacts of its green energy supply. China has lifted nearly 600 million people out of poverty since 1990. Increased agricultural production has driven progress, but has also put pressure on water resources, especially in the north. China is moving towards more sustainable agricultural water management, balancing the water needed to grow food with the water needed for industry and urban areas. Efficiency has also increased to produce more crop per drop. But it now needs to ensure that ambitious national policies trickle down and are aligned with local interests, which may not always prioritize environmental concerns. In northern Burkina Faso, the Sahel Desert is spreading into densely populated areas. But over the past 3 decades, 200 to 300,000 hectares of land have been reclaimed, thanks to innovative farming methods that mix traditional practices with new ideas. This is producing an additional 80,000 tons of food per year, benefiting 500,000 people. More support is now needed to join up areas of reclaimed land and sustain these fragile gains. Humanity depends on the world's natural resources. How we manage them determines not just who benefits from development, but also the longer-term sustainability of these gains. Too often, progress in social and economic development takes priority over environmental sustainability. It's time we correct this imbalance for our collective future. Find out more at developmentprogress.org.